Thanks for joining us today on the Nurturist Pod, where we help nurture your path and unleash your passions. Guest here today, we got Troy. He's going to be joining us talking a little bit about his experience in ecom, and we're just going to be chatting it up. How's your Friday going, man?
So far, so good. So far, so good. Can't complain. What about yourself?
Good, man. Can't complain at all. I'm out here in Utah. Remind me again where you at?
I'm in Hoboken, New Jersey. It's right across the water from New York City.
Okay. Super cool, man. Yeah, no, at least here in Utah, we got a sunny day. It's been pretty snowy, pretty chilly over the course of the last couple of weeks, but we finally pulled out a sunny day. So it's good, man. How's it over there?
So it's been on the colder side, but today it's actually been beautiful weather. It's been one of the
Okay.
more nicer days in the past week. Hopefully, it stays like this, and as spring approaches, more warm weather.
For sure, man. No, that's dope. So yeah, tell me a little bit more about yourself. I know last time when we were chatting a bit, you got into drop shipping and e-commerce. You've been doing that for about a year. Correct me if I'm wrong. And you're in college currently. Is that correct?
Yes, yes.
Cool, cool, man. But yeah, I guess what kind of brought you to e-commerce? I know obviously it's something that's talked about a lot, just like the job drop shipping and trying to test the new products. But for you yourself, what brought you to e-commerce? What was your interest in starting out something for yourself?
Yeah, for sure. I was always really into business and trying to find ways to make money. During the winters, I would go around the neighborhood trying to shovel up snow, mow lawns, or whatever it was, just trying to collect some money. And during COVID, I was in my sophomore year of high school, and I had so much time on my hands, so I started to just research and kind of dig into what is money, how to make it, where does it come from, all like stuff to learn about money. And I came across drop shipping through YouTube, other stuff like that, and I started to get into more research, and I'm like, oh, okay, it's pretty cool. You make your own website, you pick your own products, you market it, and you make some money. So that's how I started with it. And then from there, I just keep learning, trying new things. And that's where it got me today.
Awesome, man. I love that. I think it's something that you said is so important, dude. Like, I think it's so important for every single one of us to go out, test new things out, to learn and dive into new topics and try it out. Like, why not? Like, I think a
Exactly.
lot of times people get caught up in just either that they're scared first off of losing their money or time or whatever the case may be. But I think more often than not, when diving into new industries or to try something new out, no matter what, whether you win and you end up creating this into something long term or you fell within the first couple months, I think there's something so important with every single experience that you take on, just different ways that you can learn from those experiences and apply them into your life just day to day. No, that's super cool, man. I think that's a cool story. So tell me a little bit more. You said you were shoveling driveways, doing different stuff, just earn some extra cash as a sophomore in high school. So would you consider yourself like all the way throughout high school, you knew, okay, cool, I want to build my own business one day?
That was always a thought in my mind, but just a little bit about me more personally is I grew up playing sports my whole entire life, specifically soccer. So when I was younger, originally it was more of I want to become a professional soccer player. I want to do that. And I played at a pretty competitive level through middle school and high school, and still throughout most of my high school career, I was like, I want to become a professional soccer player. I was mostly looking at Division 1 schools for soccer. I wasn't considering really anything else. And
Hmm.
until like senior year came about, and I was looking for schools, and I was going on visits to schools, and the visits, it just weren't clicking. I don't know, something about the school's idea of D1 and everything else was not clicking for me. I still want to play soccer, however, so I explored some D3 schools, and that's where I found the school where I'm at.
Nice.
And I couldn't be happier because since coming here, I is that with sports, it's really tough to make it professionally. And even if you do make it professionally, it's still not crazy rewarding. I'm pretty sure the average salary in the MLS and Major League Soccer is for just like bench players or like players that don't play a lot is like 50, 60K. So it's not even, it's
Didn't realize that.
nothing you like nowadays, you can't live off that too much. So I came to that realization and it got me more focused and more passionate into the business side of things. So
Mm,
this year, like you mentioned before, I got into e-commerce since my sophomore year, but since I had school and soccer, I was on and off with it. Now that in college for the past 5, 6 months, I've been really getting into it and turning that into my full-time focus. And I'm glad that I
nice.
made that decision. Yeah, I can't complain about that decision either.
Nice, man. So you're not currently playing soccer or you are?
No, so I'm still doing that, obviously, but it's still
Oh,
not at
nice.
the
Cool.
level of what I originally wanted it to be at the D1 stuff. I still am on
Yeah.
the team for the school, and currently we're in off season right now, but we still do train a
Oh,
few times a week, but our season is in the fall.
nice, man. No, that's super cool. Dude, so I also played sports in high school, played baseball, played football. And I think it's, at least for me, when it came the time for me to hang it up and call it quits, it was like, it was tough, dude. I kind of had the same mindset. I'm like, dude, I'm going to go D1. I'm going to go do XYZ as soon as I graduate from high school. I want to make this thing happen, and took a couple visits and things ended up not working out like I thought I would have
Mm,
wanted them to. But like
mm,
in retrospect, dude, everything works out for a reason.
exactly.
I don't know. I think sports, obviously, just growing up, I played them all the way throughout high school. It definitely, I think, it gives you a competitive advantage just because, dude, you're competing with other people. You learn how to work hard.
Right.
You learn how to work with a team. And those skills that you learn from playing sports are so valuable in the
Extremely,
workplace. Like
extremely.
whether you're an entrepreneur or you're working a 9 to 5, those skills are super valued no matter what you end up doing.
Exactly.
No, that's super cool, dude. I absolutely love that. Yeah, man. I guess I did have a couple more questions specifically I want to ask you.
Sure.
So, what was your first job? What's the first job that you remember ever doing?
First job that I remember doing, most likely it was because it was probably working for my father. So my father has like his own kind of business, nothing crazy big. He does
Mhm.
wholesaling stuff, like traditional Polish things. Because my background is Polish. My parents are both Polish. So my dad,
Oh, cool.
he imports like Polish ornaments, Polish holiday cards, a lot of just like traditional things, clothing, and he sells them into wholesale into stores here. And probably my first job was probably helping him around in the warehouse, most likely, I could remember.
Nice, man. No, that's cool. Did you enjoy it? Or what did you like? What did you not like about it?
So
And
that's
how old were you?
he had that business ever since I was a baby. Even just coming in as a little kid, maybe 5, 6, 7 years old, and just coming into the warehouse and just like moving a few boxes to trying to help out my dad. But from what I remember from it, so this is where the idea of business first came into my mind, is seeing my dad do it, and I found it interesting. I found it interesting how you have your own freedom to sell what you want, to do what you want with that kind of stuff, and obviously you have that the freedom to essentially make as much money as possible if you put your mind to it. So that kind of idea intrigued me, and I guess that idea started from a very young age.
Yeah. No, that's cool, man. Did you like moving boxes around the warehouse? Can imagine that
Yeah,
you
yeah,
did.
no, that stuff wasn't the most enjoyable, but I can't really remember that much. But yeah, no, I assume that I did not enjoy that the most.
For sure. No, that makes sense, dude. So I guess with you having your eyes open at such a young age, with your dad being an entrepreneur himself, and obviously like it's something that's always been on your mind. I feel like at least from the couple times that we've chatted is no, I definitely want to build my own business and do XYZ. So with that, getting into e-commerce, doing your drop shipping, what do you think the biggest challenge has been for you as you've been testing different products and seeing what works and what doesn't? What would you say the biggest obstacle has been just getting into e-commerce itself?
The biggest challenge I would say for me is consistency. It's
Mm,
consistency and I guess trying to manage multiple things at once. For example, I tried to get into the whole ecom business in high school, but I had that was a time when I had soccer. I was trying to find a school, a college for the next
mhm.
4 years. So I was like, my parents were like really worried about the whole recruitment process. I had some injuries, I'm a goalie. So if you injure your hand, you can't really play, you can't really get recruited. So just try. And then so during that time, and wasn't as consistent as I would like to be. And then being around online when you have social media and seeing so many people doing so good and making this money, that Lamborghini, the guy driving this, the houses and everything. It's like, when am I going to get this? Like, when am I? And you get discouraged at it because you don't have it yet. I think the biggest thing for me is just staying consistent. If the results are not going to come in a week, they're not going to come in 2 weeks, they're not going to come in a month. It might not come in a year, but that's the beauty of it, that you just have to keep going and you have to keep staying consistent, because eventually, I believe that eventually with the right mentors and the right mindset, I think you can achieve anything you want. So that's been the biggest challenge for
Yeah.
me, just consistency.
Yeah. Consistency is huge, man. I think a lot of those things that you hit on, like it builds up over time, right? Just doing those small actions every single day, that's what leads to a big result. Definitely, I agree with you there, at least in my
Exactly.
life and what I've seen is definitely just like being consistent, doing the hard things day over day, even though you may not want to. That's what's going to make the biggest difference in the long run for sure, man.
100%.
So, no, that's super cool. So, I got one more question for you then, man.
Go ahead.
So as you're building out the store, I know you were showing me, I actually, when you were showing me your site and everything, I went and take a look and it's pretty sweet. Were you the one who designed the whole page and everything?
Yeah. So I pretty much do everything in with regards to my ecom businesses. I'm the marketing, I'm designing, I'm researching. That's one of the things that proud of, that by doing it for so long and by studying the business for so long, I got pretty good at all the different aspects of what it takes to have a successful business. So that goes with advertising strategy, website design, product research. So yeah, everything you see there, with the help of,
Cool,
or
man.
with the inspiration of others online. Obviously, I use many people
Right.
online just inspire, or take them as inspiration and use them for my stuff.
I love it, dude. So what's the long-term goal? Do you want to build this store? I know we chatted about it last time. I know you want to find your winning product and you want to scale it until you can't no longer.
Exactly.
But with the current store right now, like a long-term play, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Well, 5 years, I haven't thought that deep into it, but I guess it's always
You're good.
good to have short-term goals and long-term goals. But 5 years from now, I see
Mhm.
myself definitely having my own sort of business, or whether that's drop shipping, whether that's e-com, whether thing where anything with regards to business or whatever it could be. I see myself traveling a lot. I love to travel. And I think that the beauty of e-commerce is that you can pretty much run your stores or do whatever you want, wherever you want in the world. All you need is Wi-Fi and a laptop, pretty much. But as for that, yeah, 5-year goal is probably to become successful
Keep
and
scaling.
just keep going, keep doing this. And I'm big into investing. So hopefully I have a plan to reinvest the earnings that I have from e-commerce, from my businesses, into my portfolio, which is stocks. I want to get into real estate. That's definitely in my 5-year old plan, is to get a few real estate um
Mhm.
pieces. I've been building up my credit score I got a credit card a few years ago, so now I have a pretty good credit score. And I know that's good for real estate, having a good credit score. So
For
I'm
sure.
glad I started with that early. But no, yeah, that I would say that's definitely my 5-year plan, 5-year goal.
Nice, man. No, that's awesome. So last question for me then. I know obviously you just gotten into college. You're pretty freshly out of high school. But looking back like on your high school, what would be the one piece of advice that you would give to yourself
To myself,
or anyone who's currently in high school?
okay, it's a good question. It's a good question. I'm gonna think about it because I'm gonna give a good response. But yeah.
Yeah, and I guess I'll tell you a little bit why I asked that
Mhm.
question. So the whole purpose of this podcast is helping people who are coming out of high school realize what like the possibilities are endless when it comes to a career. Whether you're an entrepreneur, you want to go corporate and you want to get into 9 to 5, whatever it is for you. That the most important thing in life, at least to me and what I've seen, it's finding something that you're passionate about, finding something that you love and that you enjoy, and also being able to surround yourself with people that you enjoy as well. I feel like those are the two biggest things is just like being able to enjoy your day to day and doing something that you're passionate about and that you love. Because at the end of the day, dude, this is like what sparked the interest for the pod is just I saw about your life expectancy. and the different times that you have with different type of people in your life. So you had like your parents, you got from like when you're born until you're like 18, 20-ish, whenever you're heading out to college. And then literally from there, that time decreases by a whole lot, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You spend your entire time with them growing up. And that's kind of like when your career, when that number shoots up, dude, and it was over 60, 70% of your life, you are with your coworkers, whether you're an entrepreneur doing your thing, like the people in your network, you're going to be spending your time with, or if it's a 9 to 5, you're going to be spending your time with your coworkers every single day. So it's like, whatever you end up doing as your career path has a lot more of an effect than I think I realized, at least in high school, to your happiness in what you end up doing with your life. So
100%.
I guess that's a bit more context on that
Yeah,
question.
yeah, no, I agree with that 100%. It's find people that you like to be around and stuff because, like you said, life is not. It's short. When you really think about it, it is really short. Take advantage of the people that you're with and that you like being with, and don't take any moment for granted. But to piggyback off what you said, I think I have a pretty good piece of advice for kids coming out of high school into colleges. Luckily for me, I was born into my father had a business, and I developed that mindset from a young age, and I knew what I wanted to do as a kid. But there's a lot of kids who are lost and don't have an idea of what they want to do with their life. And that's okay. It's completely normal. If you don't know what you want to do, I'm sure many kids, they're approaching college and they don't know what they want to study. They don't know what they want to major in. And I think the biggest advice there is just to be patient, be completely patient, because your time might not be someone else's time. Someone might find what they want to do at an earlier age, and you might at a later age. And like I said, that's completely normal. Just be open-minded to new things. You never know what you may like, never know what fits you. And I just think patience is the biggest key because it will come
Patience
eventually.
and consistency. I
Exactly.
love it, man.
Exactly.
Now, Gary V, he talks a bit about that, being able to
Mhm.
enjoy your journey, whatever it may be. So I think that's huge, man. Like having patience, being consistent with those daily things, whether it's just like watching those YouTube videos to learn a little bit more about how to market your product better, or finding a good product to market, or different strategies when it comes to your landing page and how to get clients or potential customers on there. There's so many little things that add up over time if you're able to make it an important task for you to do every single day. So having patience, being consistent with those tasks, definitely, man. I couldn't agree more. But yeah, I think that's it for me, man. I don't think I have any other questions for you, but I appreciate you hopping on here.
Of
And
course. Thanks for having me. I
everyone
appreciate it.
else, of course, man. And everyone else, I appreciate you hopping on listening to the pod. We're going to be posting videos on YouTube, on Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you get your podcast. We're also building a Discord community where we're going to be sharing tons of valuable content. So make sure to hit us up there, join the community. But yeah, man, appreciate you hopping on and hope you have a good weekend.
Of course. Thank you. You too. You too, brother.
Thanks, man. See ya. Thanks again for joining us today on the Nurturist Pod. Hopefully you found some of this content insightful. If you did, make sure to follow, subscribe, and send it to one of your friends. We're also going to be posting this on YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, wherever you get your podcasts, whether it's Spotify or Apple. We got you covered. And we're going to be building out our community in Discord. So make sure to join us there as well. Until next time, thanks.